Greetings, Henry. I hear you on the rat-eye tourney. Well done, lad.
I've returned from MacLeod, sir.
How does it look there?
I brought them help from the monastery. Brother Nicodemus and Johanka from Skalitz. Fortunately, Nicodemus was able to cure the disease. Well, at least what he's doing looks promising so far.
Thank Christ. Some good news for a change. What about the captive? Did you question him?
Fortunately, he survived and I had a chance to question him.
What did you find out?
He was transporting the false coins to Pribyslavitz. He got them from some merchant called Menhart.
I don't know him.
Neither do I. But I know where the money's handed over. It's not far from Rovna, and this Menhart should be waiting there about now.
Excellent, Henry. We mustn't let this opportunity slip through our fingers. You go there and put pressure on this Menhart to tell us what he knows. Don't go yet. There's something I'd like to talk to you about.
You haven't disappointed me. Nothing against Bernard, Robert, or any of those others. But none of them could find out as much as you. At least not without beatings and torture. And that doesn't always work. You're a godsend, lad.
Thank you, sir.
Now go and find out who's behind everything, and then we'll deal with them.
Yes, sir. Sir,
What is it?
sometimes I ask myself what it all means. Why does God allow such things to happen? All this slaughter and revenge, over and over.
It's a hard question. I'm no theologian. But long ago I came to the conclusion that the only thing that makes sense is that it's all a trial. Life is one long series of problems to solve. The more you solve, the better a man you become.
I never thought about it that way.
Well, just look at the pampered ones who have no concerns in life, like young Lord Capon, for instance. I shudder to think how he will rule when his time comes. Tribulations spawn in life over and over again, and we must stand our ground and face them. So, I go to Sasso and solve this one.
You can rely on me, sir.
Good luck, son.
Hey everybody, Brett from AstartesGaming here, back with another episode of our Kingdom Come Deliverance Let's Play. So here we are, coming up on the site of where Menhart was supposed to
bloody mess.
meet the bandit, and it appears that we were too late. Got guards on the ground here. And a chest, a very hard locked chest. There's actually quite a lot of blood headed in that direction too. Let's see if there's anything on these guys. Interesting. So if they were wearing any armor, that's been looted, but they didn't take all of the coin off these people. So was this a robbery? It sure doesn't seem like it. Are those fashionable? Oh, I'll take them. Right, let's get into this chest and see if there's anything here. I have maxed my... Well, I haven't maxed my lockpicking skill. I'm up to like 15 or 16, but I have the mastery training, so there's no lock I can't pick at this point, but my skill can still go a little bit higher. This is all really valuable stuff, except for those working boots. The fancy shirts, I guess, not super valuable. I'm just going to take everything but the boots, I think. So somebody was transporting...
They must have been in a hurry or they'd never have left it behind.
Somebody was transporting very valuable clothing here, and again, it wasn't taken. So, I don't think this was a robbery. Ah, I didn't mean to get back on the horse quite yet because I need to look at this pool of blood still.
Someone was wounded here. It looks like another person dragged him off. Maybe there'll be some tracks.
Well, there's the tracks.
This way.
Yep. That Henry's got a keen eye.
Another clue. I must be going the right way.
Well, let's follow it on foot for now.
I'm on the right track.
Yeah. Ooh, charcoal. Interesting. What would charcoal be doing out here? Well, these trees have been cut, so maybe there's a charcoal burner camp in the area.
This way.
Got another wagon up ahead.
Another clue. I must be going the right way.
And sure enough, a charcoal burner camp. So, clearly they've been doing work out there. The question is whether or not they saw anything.
I hope I can be of help to you, Knight.
What happened at the crossroads?
Huh?
Listen, there's corpses lying on the road out there, a ransacked wagon, and a trail that leads right here. Now, you seem to be honest and friendly folk, not marauding cutthroats. So I prefer to believe you don't have anything to do with it.
But
If you don't start helping me, I might change my mind.
I don't know nothing, and I haven't seen nothing. If you want to know something about it, just ask Boyar. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Who is this Boria?
Boyar cracks the whip around here. You'll recognize him by his red cap.
Thank you.
I didn't see anybody in a red cap, but I guess we'll look around a bit more.
What do you know about the wagon that's been ambushed at the crossroads?
I haven't a clue what you're talking about.
Really?
Yes. Is that a problem?
Do you have any idea whose wagon it was?
I don't know. And I don't care.
Well, I'll tell you. I'm sure you've heard of the gang that burned down Neuhof
Possibly.
and poisoned the well in Merhoyed. They're the kind of men you don't want to get on the wrong side of.
I didn't get on the wrong side of them, though. Did I? The opposite. Actually, we helped them out. And I didn't even know who they were.
What happened?
Let's just get this straight. We didn't ambush anyone.
And what were you doing at the crossroads then?
We were just passing, and we saw the wagon. So we took the sacks.
Just the sacks? What about the trail of bloodstains leading to the camp?
I was just getting to that. We also found one wounded man. What am I saying, wounded? The fellow was hacked like a martyr in some holy picture. He begged us to hide him away.
So you have him here somewhere? Is he still alive?
The fellow has quite a will to live. I'll give him that.
Did he tell you anything?
He wasn't exactly talkative. His lungs are full of holes, so talking's a problem.
Do you know who ambushed that wagon?
Not a clue. We came a long way after.
Where is he?
We've locked him away in the shed. There.
I want to talk to him.
I don't know. He paid us. We're not to let anyone near him.
I don't mean to hurt him.
So be it. Here. Take the key.
Thanks.
Take care now.
Alright, so we found Boria. He told us what's going on here. Let's go find this guy now. I assume he's in one of these shacks here. Probably this one, with all the blood out in front. What's in here, I wonder? Nobody's looking. I'm not stealing stuff when I pick these chests, by the way. I'm just, picking them for the skill. There's generally not anything valuable in them anyways. Okay. Oh, I can pick this too? Why not? I don't need no key. I'm gonna call Pebbles over here because I have a sneaking suspicion I'm gonna need her. There you are. And who do we have here? Mercenary.
Who are you?
Do as I say, and you might walk out of here alive.
What? What's that? What do you mean?
Don't worry about it. Just answer my questions, and I might even help you.
Well, if you say so.
Who is it you work for? Who did the wagon belong to?
To Menhart. He's some kind of merchant who hired me for protection. But that's all I know.
And where's this Menhart disappeared off to?
No idea. I blacked out after the attack. Only came to my senses once I got here. I don't even know where here is.
Who ambushed that wagon?
A knight. He's been following us for a while.
And where did he go?
I don't know. I got a beating, and then I passed out.
Do you know what you were carrying in that wagon?
I never asked Menhart that.
Can I see your wound?
Are you a quack?
Sort of. That's a deep wound to the flank and you're still losing blood. You need to staunch it.
Will you help me?
I can try. Tell me more about the knight.
Where's the coin?
What? What coin?
I will not repeat the question.
I don't know about any coin. I swear.
Ah! Dumped. Where are those sacks you took from the wagon?
Sacks! They're behind the shed.
That's him! That's got to be that knight!
Is that all? Did you take anything else?
Fuck! Stop! Stop right there!
Pebbles, where are you, damn it? Oh, come on, Henry. Don't whistle. Where did he go? Where did he go? There he is. Alright, get the bow out. Gonna need it, probably. I don't want to be fighting him in the forest. Let's tail him for a bit. Gotcha. Let's get into a clearing here. Dismount. And put that bow away, please. Oh, God, he's on me quick. Alright. This is a suitable place for a fight. It's pretty good. There we go. Finally land a counter. Come on then. Damn. Look at you.
I hope you have said your prayers.
Joke's on you, I don't pray at all. Is that it? You surrender? Hey, get back here. Oh. That's what I thought.
Well?
Who is that diver? It seems I have finally met my match.
I want to know everything. Who you are, why you're here, and what you know about the ambushed wagon.
You may call me Ulrich. I will tell you nothing more until you give me some assurances.
Assurances? How about this? If you talk, I'll spare you.
Do you expect me to believe that? I know full well how these stories end. I have been at the other end of the sword more times than you can count.
I give you my word.
The word of a thief? Jesus. It is true what the preachers say. This world has gone quite mad. You had better kill me. I'm finished, anyway. Just as you are.
Unlike you, I'm not a criminal.
You believe that the forging of money is an honest trade?
I've got nothing to do with that. I'm not a forger, I'm the one investigating them.
What? What are you saying?
I'm in the service of Sir Radzig, Governor of Skalitz and Royal Hetman.
Then we have something in common. I also am here under orders from above.
From who?
Perhaps you might sheath that weapon, so that we may talk eye to eye. If we do indeed have a common cause.
Stand up.
It is true our meeting has not begun well. But if it is the truth that you are sent by Kobila, then we can assist each other.
What do you mean?
I found out many things, but there are still questions I cannot answer. And the last man who knew anything is now dead.
What man was that?
Maynard, the merchant from Passau. Listen, I will explain everything to you, but first, I need you to do something for me.
Oh, really?
You will introduce me to a certain person, and I will tell you everything I've learned.
Who do you mean?
Master Tobias Feyfar. If you truly serve Sir Radzig, then you must know him.
Of course I know him. What do you want him for?
I have here a written confession which tells how those forgeries are made, but I do not understand such technical matters. Master Feyfar, however...
We'll definitely be able to make sense of it. And you'll give it to me, just like that?
It seems I have little choice. This is the last lead I have. In the meantime, I will return to Sassau and see what I might learn there.
Shouldn't you go with me to see Feyfar?
No. I must remain in Sassau. I have some, loose ends that must be tied.
What's your name, anyway?
I told you. I am Ulrich.
Just Ulrich?
It is enough.
Because you look like a knight. They seldom have just one name.
It is true. I have a horse, armor, a sword, and a shield. But there are many ways to acquire such things these days. As I am sure you know.
So you're not a knight?
I am a trustworthy soldier in the service of a nobleman. That is all you need to know.
All right then, Ulrich. Let's leave it at that. Who are you working for?
I understand why you wish to know. But this does not mean I am at liberty to tell you.
That sounds a bit fishy.
It is simply that my master does not wish to be revealed. And if we are to help one another, that is how it must remain.
Tell me what you know about the false coins.
Do you know Passau?
It's a German city, right?
Correct. A city of great wealth, where there are many merchants. Passau is a city of trade. All the currencies in Christendom change hands there.
I see. And that would include Prague groschen?
Some months ago, counterfeit groschen were discovered to be circulating there. They are made from copper plated with silver. The Passau alderman began to investigate and learned that a family of money changers was involved. They were bringing the forged coins in from Bohemia and sending back real ones. My liege lord is allied to the Passau alderman, so they requested that he deal with the matter.
And so he sent you?
Yes. He needed a man that he could trust absolutely.
And what about that wagon? What happened there exactly?
I followed Maynard from Passau. I had reason to suspect a connection with Sassau.
So they were transporting false groschen on that wagon?
Yes. On their way here, they brought real coin. Groschen, forints, francs, and the like. But now, the sacks were full of counterfeits.
What do you mean about the connection with Sassau?
The matter was investigated in Passau, and the executioner extracted information from those who were arrested. They told him that the coins were made in a monastery.
What, in the monastery itself?
I cannot say. I know only what the Passau scribe wrote down in his reports of the interrogations.
Why did you let them get here before attacking?
I wanted to discover where they hand over their coins, which I failed to do. Besides, Maynard had an armed escort, and they kept 2 busy roads and lodged at inns throughout their journey, until he came to this god-forsaken track. I cannot guess why he came here, but it was the perfect opportunity to strike.
What happened on that track?
I ambushed them. I took down 2, but that bastard Maynard cut the horses loose and rode away.
What next?
While I was chasing Maynard, those charcoal burners came and stole what they could. Before I could catch him, his horse threw him and he broke his neck.
So we won't get anything out of him?
Unfortunately not.
What happened to Maynard?
He is dead, of course.
I know, but what did you do with his body?
I buried it. He was a bastard. But I am not one to leave Christian remains rotting in the woods.
I see. And where's his grave?
He ran from the wagon uphill along the path to the north. Along the way there is an old ruined cabin. I buried him behind it. And don't think I don't know why you ask. Robbing graves is shameful.
That's not it at all.
If you say so.
Very well. I'll go and see Master Feyfar.
Godspeed. I will wait in Sasau at the Wagoner's Inn.
Alright, well, it sounds like we have yet another lead to follow. I thought he was getting on pebbles for a second. That scared me. Anyway, we should probably go report in. And we need to talk to Master Feyfar anyways, so it sounds like we're headed back to town, where maybe we can get a decent night's sleep for once.
Yeah. Master Feyfar, I need to speak with you. I found out something about the counterfeit coin.
Did you really? Do tell.
Close to Rovna, I came across a wagon that was transporting the false coins. Unfortunately, I came too late. The carter and his men were dead.
Damn and blast. Do you know who did it?
Yes. A certain knight turned up there. Turned out he was also after the forgers.
Well, that is indeed unexpected. Tell me, what did he say?
His name is Ulrich. He looked like a knight, but he refused to show his master's colours.
Ulrich, you say? Could be anyone. Can you describe him?
An older man with a moustache. But for all his grey hairs, he seemed pretty tough to me.
Doesn't match anyone I've heard of. But then we don't even know if Ulrich is his real name.
I asked him who his liege was, but he refused to tell me.
We live in such strange times. In days past, knights would vie with each other to see who could extol their liege's name the loudest. And today, they take assumed names, hide their emblems, and sneak around the land like thieves.
I got the impression he was hiding his identity because his master's at odds with Sir Radzig.
That may well be. As a staunch supporter of the king, Sir Radzig has many enemies.
He told me that the fake money was being taken to Passau in exchange for gold coins. Then that real money was being brought back to the Bohemian lands.
That would explain why those fakes bear the Passau countermark.
His master's allied with the Passau alderman, and they told him to sort it all out.
I wonder who could be behind it all.
He gave me these documents to show you. He seemed to think they prove he was telling the truth. They're the records of the interrogations in Passau, and some other things he said you'd understand better than him.
Let me see. We, the aldermen of the city of Passau. Interrogation held this day. Put to pen by the questor. The place of origin is a monastery in the land of Bohemia. Which certainly confirms my suspicion that something underhand is going on in Sasau. Coin assay report. Copper core coated with amalgam. Ah, but this is interesting. Here's an outline description of how the forgeries are made. I'll have to study it more closely. We command Herr Ulrich to investigate and let no man stand in his way. This looks like the original safe conduct. It has the seal of the Passau alderman, but they certainly didn't pen this.
How do you know?
I recognize the hand. It's a Clement of Caplitz, the high scribe of the Rosenbergs.
The Rosenbergs? Who's that?
A rich and powerful family in South Bohemia. Burgrave Henry III is a great rival of our King Wenceslas.
So what does all this mean?
Well, it certainly explains why your knight is so mysterious. Anyway, we should be careful. And we shall begin our investigation. The documents show they use silver amalgam for coating copper fakes. That's a lead we can follow.
What?
Silver amalgam. It's produced from quicksilver and silver.
Well, that doesn't sound like something just anyone can get hold of.
You're quite right. You will go to Sasau at once. Look around the forges in the city. Someone must be working copper for them. I, meanwhile, will take counsel with Sir Radzig and then follow after you.
Where shall we meet?
At the inn on Sasau Market Square.
Alright, well, yet another heading. I'm glad Sir Radzig turned up for that meeting. I was worried I'd have to go tell him what was going on, but it seems like he heard everything, so that's quite convenient. Let's go ahead and be on our way here. I do have a little bit of business around town I need to handle. I have quite a few things I need to sell. But once that's taken care of, I think we can head on out to Sasau. Alright, so I'm passing through Ledechko on my way to Sasau, and I figured we'd stop off here and check in on a few things. We need to follow up with the lady that runs the butcher shop to see if our little exorcism worked. And then the mill in this town is where we set up Fritz and Matthew, so we should probably see if they've started yet.
So, did it work? Is your home free of the ghost?
Oh, you're here, are you? You're lucky I didn't have to get you myself. No, it didn't work. The spirit came just the same as before, and I didn't sleep a wink.
So you're saying I won't get my reward?
You get paid for results, my dear, and I haven't seen any yet. At least now I know that old wives' law doesn't help. Go and see Apothecary Coniash in Ratai. I hear he's familiar with all manner of magic.
Have you tried drinking a poppy decoction? I could prepare one for you.
Do you honestly think I haven't tried that? Well, I have, and it doesn't work.
Fine. I'll go and see the apothecary. Hopefully we'll come up with something that works.
Alright, well, she's gonna have to wait then, because I'm not gonna be back in town for at least a day or so, if not more. Right, and then the mill's out this way.
God's blessings. What can I do for you?
Are you happy here?
It's not worth a damn. If I had any choice, you wouldn't see my heels for dust.
Well, what's happened? Did you two get yourselves into trouble?
A fine friend you are, assuming it's our own bloody fault.
Oh, come on. You know what you two are like. I had to ask.
Well, perhaps with that monk. But now, the foreman's got it in for us. If he could, he'd skin us alive.
Always forcing you to work, is he?
If only. That wouldn't be so awful. But nothing we do is good enough for him. There's always some reason for him to yell at us.
I can imagine.
You know what it's like. We do too little, and it takes us too long, and what we eat's worth more than the work we've done, and it's no fun listening to that sort of shit day after day.
And the miller won't stick up for you. I would have thought all the yelling would drive him mad.
Not really. He trusts that loudmouth bastard more than us. He's got us down for a pair of parasites.
I see.
What's so stupid is the mill really needs us. They haven't had any hands here for quite a while, and the mill needs a lot of fixing. But with them around, we can't even get to work.
And you definitely don't... You don't ever provoke him?
I've already told you once, he's an arsehole. I'd say there's nothing we can do about it. If he wants to yell at us, he'll yell at us.
Have you tried talking with him?
What do you think? But that just sets him off. He starts saying we're practically bandits, and what he's going to do about it. That gets Fritz going, and he starts yelling too, and...
I'd never have guessed he's like that.
Well, get a job here as a hand, and you'll soon see.
And what does he do during the day? Does he work with you?
Good one. He keeps his eye on everything, but his hand only touches the saw when the miller shows up, which isn't that surprising.
Why?
The last time he did anything, he almost took his thumb off with a chisel. I wouldn't put an axe in those paws of his either.
So, he's clumsy and arrogant. That's what you said about your last master, that Nimoy.
Aye, but at least you could sneak away from old Nimoy for a bit. No chance of that around here.
And what do you want to do about it? Just run away?
Actually, I'd like to stay here, at least for a bit. I never would have thought I'd like working in a mill. But not with him around. It's unbearable. And there's no one I can complain to. But you could.
Me? Do you think they'll listen to me?
They did once already, didn't they? They hired us because of you. You could have another word with them.
Back then, making promises was enough. Now, it will be worse.
You can forget about the miller. It's Thomas you need to convince. The miller takes his opinion seriously. So, will you do it for us? Again?
Fine. I'll try and talk to him.
I'm glad. But try not to get on his wrong side. You won't get anywhere with him then.
I'll keep that in mind. Matthew told me your foreman's a fool, and you're not exactly filled with Christian love for him.
You better believe it. I'd like to pay him back for everything, and drown him in the river.
Drown him? What's he done to you?
It was the first or the second day here. We had a disagreement, and I told him off. And then, all of a sudden, we're fighting, and that fucker just throws me in the river. I nearly drowned.
Well, how did you get out? I thought you couldn't swim.
I can't. They pulled me out. I was up to my waist in water.
I see. Well, I'd be pretty fucking angry too. So you want to pay him back?
Exactly. I don't give a shit about anything around here, but that bastard's in need of a good trouncing.
What about the others at the mill? Are they awful as well?
The miller's an old fool. He believes every word that comes out of Thomas's mouth. It's hopeless. And then there's the miller's daughter. She's a pretty lass, and kind with it. And what can she do? Nothing. Not that it stops Matthew gonna see her. But it's Thomas who's the root of the problem.
Do you think he's jealous? Is she a sweetheart?
He might make puppy dog eyes at her, but most of the time he just struts about like a peacock. I really don't think she's the problem.
And what do you want to do about it? Do you think you can come to an agreement?
No fucking chance. Matthew hopes so because he likes it here. It's true the work's better than the mines, but the pay's worse.
So how do you plan on dealing with it? Leaving?
Perhaps. But first, I want to give Thomas a proper trouncing. I mean a real thrashing.
And you think that will help?
Maybe. Maybe it'll knock some sense into that fat head of his. Or he'll be too frightened to mess with me.
That might help.
So why don't you arrange a fight with him? If we win, he'll leave us alone. Oh, we could...
What?
We could lure him off someplace far away and then wait for him. Maybe to play dice with Lawrence. He would have to go through the dark woods.
I'll think about it.
I guess it figures that they would have gotten themselves into trouble here already. I guess let's ask around a bit more and see if there's anything we can do about this.
Jesus Christ be praised.
Are you happy with your new workers?
They're good carpenters, but someone constantly has to stand behind their backs and keep an eye on them.
Really?
Yes, yes. When I'm there with them, everything goes smoothly. But the moment I leave, I hear Thomas yelling at them.
I've heard.
I don't know what I'd do without Thomas. He keeps an eye on everything for me now. The mill wouldn't function without him.
Yeah, but Thomas has problems with carpentry.
You're right. You should hear him cursing when he has to turn his hand to it. He knows he'll never be a real miller.
What, just because of that?
No. He's not too skilled at handling the water wheel and the mill run either. He can wield a shovel well enough, but otherwise I have to keep telling him how to do things.
So he's not been foreman too long then?
No. My son used to run the mill, but then his wagon overturned with him inside it. It'll be a year ago now, come spring.
I'm sorry.
Me too, boy. And after Martin was gone, the other workers left and only Thomas stayed. I don't know what I'd do without him.
What happened that day? Wagons don't overturn themselves.
He was transporting new stone blocks for the mill and he had to take a detour. Since the wagon was too heavy for the ford, it was after a downpour. The load must have slipped and the whole wagon fell on him. I pray it was quick.
So he was alone, with no one to help him?
Of course not. Thomas was there too. He helped Martin to load the wagon in Sasau, and both of them set off back.
Just the two of them? No one else was there?
No, they always did it that way. Martin didn't like dragging people where it wasn't necessary, when they could be doing work elsewhere. But if I had been there with them, maybe he'd still be alive. Thomas couldn't pull the wagon off him. He ran for help, but it was already too late.
I'm sorry. But I'm sure he's in God's kingdom now.
He was a good boy, a kind soul.
Have you been without carpenters for a while?
A long time. Since winter, it's been just me and Thomas.
Nobody stays around?
No. These days, it's hard to find a man you can rely on. Young lads today are bone idle. None of them wants to do an honest day's work.
And how many have actually worked here?
About half a dozen, maybe more. We always put up with them till the most urgent work was done, then sent them packing.
And what about Jane? Shouldn't she have a husband by now?
What are you trying to say?
A pretty girl like her is ripe for marriage.
With a large dowry because she comes from a mill? Well, she had herself a man once, but he ran away during the winter. He wasn't up to the work either.
And how long did he last?
You know, he was here for a while. But back then, my son was a foreman, and he was a kindly soul. Too kind. He never threw anyone out.
So, everyone started leaving when Thomas took over?
Well, Thomas is a dog on slackers. And just as well. Maybe it's harsh, but that's what you need nowadays. If we don't mill, folk don't eat.
So, the moment Thomas became mill foreman, everyone started running off? Not one man could stand it here, even if they had a chance to marry Jane. Don't you think Thomas might be doing it on purpose? Sounds to me like he's after the mill, or your daughter, or both.
That's not like him. He's a good man and straightforward. He knows I can always send for a new mill foreman.
And Jane?
Don't worry about her. She'll wed whoever I approve of, even Thomas if he asks for her hand. At least with him, I know he won't leave the mill.
Indeed, why would he, once he's got rid of everyone else?
That's enough. I don't know why you're trying to slander Thomas, but I don't mean to listen to it any longer.
I heard what you asked my father. You can't expect help from him. He's none too sharp these days.
And can you help me then?
No. Nobody listens to me. But I wanted to say that Thomas does do it on purpose. He did it the same way before.
Why?
Because he's afraid if someone comes who's more skilled, Father will notice and give his job to the newcomer.
And your father lets him? Can't he settle this?
He probably could, but he doesn't want to. My brother was the mill foreman before him, but last year a wagon overturned on him, broke his back. It broke my father too. And Thomas was here the longest. He was always close to my brother, so Father chose him as the mill foreman.
And Thomas doesn't listen to anyone? Can't you persuade him?
No. He keeps looking my way and tries to be nice, but he doesn't care what I've got to say. When I tell him something, it goes in one ear and out the other.
And this probably won't end well. What happened to your brother?
And what does that have to do with this?
I don't know. You mentioned it, so I was just wondering.
There's not much to tell. A stone block that was loaded wrong, slippery ground after rain, and when the wagon overturned on him, there was no one around to help.
What do you mean, no one? Surely he wasn't alone.
No, he had Thomas with him. But Thomas couldn't lift the wagon off him, and by the time he found help it was too late. And as if that wasn't bad enough, someone robbed my brother while Thomas was looking for help.
Someone robbed him after he was dead?
I don't know. But they took a mottled scarf which I gave him as a keepsake. He laughed when I gave it to him. He said it would make him look like a fop, but he still wore it all the time. And someone must have thought it was worth stealing.
But who'd steal a scarf?
Why are you asking me? When they brought him back here, he didn't have it. That's all I know.
I'm sorry about what happened to him.
Me too. But it was his own fault. If he'd brought more people with him, he'd still be alive. He was too kind for his own good.
I understand.
Right, well, it's probably time that we talk to the man himself, because things are starting to not exactly add up here. So, I'd like to ask him a couple questions.
My respects to you.
I heard you were with the miller's son when the wagon fell on him.
What of it?
I just heard some talk and I wanted to get the story straight from you.
Talk? From who?
I heard some gossip about it at the alehouse. What happened? Was it really lightning that scared the horses?
What? No, there wasn't any storm. It was just the road was muddy, and so we rode closer to the edge of it.
It's a real stroke of bad luck, isn't it?
Tell me about it. If I'd been behind the wagon, it would have fallen on me too.
Why did only 2 of you go?
He always did it that way. 2 people are enough for the trip, and if we needed an extra pair of hands, we could always find some local.
Except at the end. If there had been more of you, he might have survived.
Do you think I don't know that? I couldn't move the wagon on my own, so I went looking for help. We'd met a few travelers along the way, and I ran to find them, but it was too late. The weight of it crushed him while I was gone.
I'm sorry.
Me too. Me too. I didn't want to be the mill foreman, but The last thing he ever said to me, the very last thing he ever asked of me, was to take care of the mill.
And I heard someone robbed him.
Robbed? What kind of nonsense is that?
I heard he was missing something when they brought him back.
What? I don't remember anything.
He had a scarf with him.
Really? I don't know. Maybe he lost it on the way. Or it sank into the mud. Yes, that's probably it. It's still buried there somewhere.
Well, I hope he's resting in peace.
Amen.
Yeah, that sounded a little shady. He was trying awfully hard to convince me that he didn't know anything about the scarf. Like, why even bother being so speculative? So I wonder, does he have, like, I don't know where he sleeps. Maybe in here? This is a private area. Let's check some of the local chests and see if we can't find it, maybe. Oh, there's some decent gear in there.
The people have a place.
Well, he could have it on his person.
What was that?
It might be hard to get it from him during daylight, though. I do have decent pickpocketing skill, but there's a lot of people walking around. Alright, I think he's going to head into here, so as long as nobody follows him, I might be able to pick his pocket real quick. Alright, what do we have here? He's got a lot of dice on him. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Oh, is that it? Alright, what did we just get? Grubby scarf. Maybe that's it. Huh. I guess let's talk to Jane and see if she recognizes it.
Greet.
You're probably interested in what Thomas was hiding, aren't you?
I certainly am interested, especially in how you came to know.
I saw it as it fell out of his pouch, and,
Show it to me.
Isn't this your brother's scarf?
That's it. Where did you get it?
As I said, Thomas had it.
He did? And what did he have to say about that?
Nothing. I came straight to you.
Oh. I suppose I'll have to decide what to do about it. But I'm grateful you brought this. And maybe... Never mind.
What is it?
I was thinking you could go to him and tell him I have the scarf. But I think I'll handle it another way.
As you wish. I'll go then.
Goodbye.
Alright, well, I guess we'll respect her wishes then and let her handle it. Especially since I don't have the scarf anymore. I don't have the evidence to confront him. But it looks like she is going to talk to him herself. Or maybe her father. Nope. Okay. I think there was supposed to be some dialogue there, but I think he's making a run for it. Let's follow him for a bit. Because if... Yeah, he's trying to get out of here. He is a murderer as far as I'm concerned, and he nearly killed Fritz as well, so if he runs out into the forest, we might make sure he doesn't come back for good this time.
My friends.
Yeah, so he's booking it out into the wilderness, and there's nobody else in sight, so... Alright. I'll pick you up, and let's see... Hey Thomas, the Skalitz folks send their regards.
Problem solved. He won't bother you again.
Really? How'd you pull it off?
I found out he has a soft spot, and I gave it a good poke.
I'd love to know what you found out about him.
It doesn't matter. But it was enough for him to pack his things and disappear.
Jesus, it must have been something terrible. So he's really gone?
Yes. Now it's just you, so try not to misbehave.
You know us. We'd never do that. Thank you kindly, Henry. We owe you again. Here, it's not much, but it's all we have. See you later.
All you have. I know that's crap because I just paid you like 12 grand to teach me mastery of stealth. Anyway, we've spent far too long here, so we need to continue on to Sasau, unless there's anything else on the way that we should check in with. But otherwise, I will see you guys there.
Closer, my friend.
Alright, so here we are in Sasau Monastery. Before we start our investigation, I'd like to talk to, I think it was Brother Elias. Matthew and Fritz mentioned that they were in debt, and Johanka briefly mentioned it as well, and she name-dropped Elias. And Elias is this guy over here that's been helping out. So I want to know, like, what kind of went down here and why they owe money.
I heard you had a fight with Fritz and Matthew.
Heathens.
So it was you they fought with?
Yes, it was me. And I hope I'll never have to see those wastrels again.
They deserve to be ousted, but the debt? How are they ever going to pay it?
I really don't care. Let them live in penury. Brutes.
Isn't that a little unchristian? You wouldn't want personal spite to ruin their lives, would you?
Well, those were just idle threats, really. If they come and apologize, there's always a possibility of forgiveness.